Hello, everyone. Looks like I am live. Can everybody hear me? I can't hear myself well because I got headphones on. Should be coming through there. But it says it's working, so I'm going to say that I'm live. Today, we are going to be talking about weird tales. And I've got some cross stitching here. I think that's what you call it. To protect us, may Cthulhu devour this house last while we talk about all this crazy, spooky, weird tales stuff. Looks like Andrea's here, and I'm glad to hear that because Andrea knows way more about this than I do. So she is going to be a bit of a fact checker as I go through this. If you guys have not subscribed to Andrea, I put a link to her channel already in the description. So you can find her channel in there and subscribe. You won't regret it. She does awesome weird tales stuff. So check her out. All right. I forgot Wild Die Woodward. I forgot what your name was. Somebody told me at one point, and I can't remember. What's up, Tim? How are you doing? I'm not going to try to pronounce that second one. Cthulhu I can do. Yeah, I don't know how to say that one. I'm not even going to try. What's up, Goat Man? A lot of people that Scott. All right, I'm going to try to remember that. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully it looks like I'm getting a lot of people that were on Jim's musical live earlier. So I hope he didn't wear you guys out. Ooh, Brian's here. What's up, Brian? Brian, I am almost done with Light at the End. So hopefully we can talk about that this month because it's Vamptember, which I think the Bookubus is a host of, and sounds very fun. Vampires in September works well. All right. Well, I was kind of in the mood to go live, and I wanted a theme. Last time I went live by myself. Well, last time I went live by myself, I was just tailgating for people at Pulp Fest. But the time before that, I had a theme, and that was Japanese literature. And this time, I've decided the theme will be weird tales. So I'm going to try to talk about horror that is of a specific time, and I am going to go in and out of that. I'm going to mainly stick with that time, but I have a few things to show that aren't actually of that specific time. But I do just want to state right off the bat that this is not a subject that I know a ton about. I'm new to this. I read some H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of it when I was younger, but I'll tell you, I started diving into weird tales pretty recently in the channel, and I've learned so much from what I've just been reading, particularly that there's a whole vein of incredible horror literature that people aren't talking a lot about. Whenever we talk about it, we have a tendency to talk about H.P. Lovecraft. And then if you get a little bit more into it, you can get into August Derleth and Clark Ashton Smith and some of the other big names, but there's so much even under that I think we're missing. So I'm really excited to dive into this. I've got Andrea here just in case I say anything that's not true. And Ghost Readers in the Sky is here. Weird Wednesday followed by Weird Thursday. I actually was thinking it would be really cool to do this on Wednesday, but I just couldn't. It was impossible. There's mosquitoes in my house, and I hate them so very much. It's been bad mosquitoes this year. What's up, Constance? How are you doing? All right, so let's jump into this. I'm going to break the rule right away. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I have that I want to show off that are before weird tales. But I do think that these writers had an influence on weird tales. So let's start with Frankenstein. Have you guys, you probably have some of these annotated books. This series is absolutely incredible. And I have a lot more than just the three I'm going to show. But these are my horror collections. And that cover is absolutely incredible. If you can see that without the glare. And these things are really, look at just opening it. Look at that. Who's this artist, I wonder? Because I know they have lots of different artists. They try to collect a lot of art for these. Art by Marcia Huyette. Huyette. Really amazing art in this. Let's see here. It's pronounced Frankenstein, which makes me want to say, do you pronounce the first part Frodrick? I love that movie. That's probably my favorite Mel Brooks, and I know that will a lot of people might disagree with that, but that was always my favorite. Anyway, the cool thing about these is the incredible amount of historical information they give. Just complete histories of the text. And then when you get into the text itself, it doesn't stop. Like these are all, none of the text is even on. Oh no, there's the text on the side. So you got the text of Frankenstein going here, and then just tons and tons of footnotes that give historical information. Really, really incredible books. If you find the annotated of anything, they're really, really good books. So that's my first one. Excerpts from Frankenstein showed up in a Weird Tales magazine in the late 1920s. There we go. See? It fits. It fits. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Actually, it really does, because I think that there's so much that can be traced back to Frankenstein. I feel like Weird Tales being traced back there makes a lot of sense as well. I probably wore out our Young Frankenstein VHS tape as a kid. Yes, I also, in fact, it was the most interesting VHS tape I ever bought. I bought it right before DVDs were a big thing. They were just kind of starting on the market. And I bought a copy of Young Frankenstein that was like 4 hours long, because after the movie ended, they just tacked on all the special features, all these cut scenes, extended scenes, deleted scenes. So the video itself was like 4.5 hours long. Really interesting VHS tape. I've never seen another like that. Who's the publisher of the annotated? That's a great question. It's Avenel. Oh, it looks like it's different each time, though. This one says Potter. And I have 4 more in the other room. So I wonder if it changed. Clarkson and Potter, publisher. And this one, is that, what does Frankenstein say? I already threw it on the ground. That one's also Potter. Yeah, I think they must have changed their names as they went. Or different companies jumped in on it. I don't know. I need to get better copies of Frankenstein and Dracula. I might give them a read next month. Yeah. If I was going to do a reread, and I read Frankenstein just a couple of months before I started my channel, and it's probably my 3rd reading, and it's still incredible. I read the 1818 version, which I think is my favorite of all the versions. But if I was to reread Dracula, I would definitely do it in the annotated version. I have the annotated Del Toro. The annotated by Del Toro. Which one is that? What's the book? Is it Frankenstein? That's cool. Is there a new one out? That's really interesting. I didn't know he had done one. About to hit the road, but we'll catch you in the re-rub. Nice. Good to see you, Captain Finity. Just come back in time and watch it. Your cameo in my Captain Finity comic book is coming along nicely. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully I'm not a jerk in my cameo, but you never know. What's up? It's Keys. I like that. You got a little, it looks like a zombie wave in there. That's awesome. 1818 version is better. How you doing, Ryan? Oh my God, I can't keep I can't keep up. This is one of the best channels I've stumbled upon. Thank you so much, Rumbles of Revolution. I haven't seen you on here before, and I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Oh, Itsuki's got all kinds of awesome little emojis there. I read and reviewed The Last Man, also by Mary Shelley. I want to read that. I have a modern, I think, Penguin or something version of that, and I want to read it. Was it any good, William? Did you like it? I think William has a channel as well. I haven't sought out your channel yet, William. I should. I should go check it out. What's going on, Curtis? Good to see you. Well, it's Leslie Klinger, but introduced by Del Toro. Interesting. You'll have to show it off. You're going to have to do a live soon as well, Andreea, and I think you have a lot of cool stuff to show off if our text chain is a show of it at all. I listened to audiobook of Frankenstein. Not sure which version seemed very bloated. Is 1818 version tighter? Yeah, that's it. A lot of that Victorian literature, I think, can seem bloated. So I don't know what version you heard. I feel like the 1818 version is a little more streamlined and better. But honestly, I can't. I mean, I read the later version years and years and years ago, so I don't know. Anyway, my next annotated that I wanted to show off is Edgar Allan Poe. This makes perfect sense because I feel like, really, truly, Edgar Allan Poe, in my opinion, I'd say is kind of the founder of the weird tales. If we're trying to go backwards like that, I think Edgar Allan Poe is like the Beatles of weird tales. He inspired everybody, and this annotated edition is incredible, really wonderful. And of course, all the same thing that I showed in the other one. There's tons of historical information in here and pictures throughout. I'm sure some of Harry Clark's pictures will be in here as well. It's like, the best way I can explain these is like, it's like reading the novel while you have the Wikipedia open. It's the best way I can explain it. Yeah, so there's that one. Del Toro's film has Oscar Isaacs as the Mad Doctor and maybe Elordi as a beautiful monster. Yeah, I've kind of been hearing about this movie. Is it already out? I think I've heard one good review and one bad review. I don't know if you followed the story. It's very rare. I don't think anybody's ever really followed the book when they've made a movie of this. I may be wrong, but I don't think they really have. It was interesting only for being the first apocalyptic fiction. Part one of the 3-part book feels like a completely different novel. Oh, interesting. Yeah, but truly, that the concept that it's the first post-apocalyptic book is incredible. The Leslie Klinger annotated Frankenstein has all the differences pointed out. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if mine does. I haven't read this one. The last time I read it, I listened to it. So yeah, I don't know if this one points out all the differences. On October 4th, the Rare Books LA Book Fair is celebrating Del Toro's film with tie-in elements. Going to be amazing. Ooh, that sounds really fun. Yeah, that sounds awesome. All right, I was going to wait to pull down my older stuff, but I'm going to pull it down now just because it's topically makes sense. So this is a binding of a magazine called The Keepsake, and I got it for really cheap because somebody, the person that sold it on eBay, obviously tried to fix the binding. The binding was probably coming off, and they what it looks like is printed out a piece of paper with the title of the magazine on it, and then tried to glue the pieces of the spine that still existed onto it, which doesn't bother me that bad. I mean, it's not the choice I would make to repair something, but really I love having this incredibly old bound book of this magazine. And the coolest part about this magazine, and the reason that I grabbed it, here's the type of stuff we find in this magazine, but the reason that I grabbed this, Let's see if I can find this quickly or if I'm going to have to look it up. Just passed something called The Buccaneer, and that made me think of Andrea's recent video where she's showing off, I think, Weird Tales, and she talked about one story called The Buccaneer. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up. I'm sorry. The reason I bought this is very cool. But now that I'm live, I'm, of course, having a terrible time finding it. So let's see if I can get to the table of contents here. Sorry, dead space. But I really want to show you guys this. Oh, I'm not finding it. There, I turned to it. Yay. Okay. The reason I grabbed this was because there's a story in here called The Invisible Girl, and it is by the author of Frankenstein. Uh-oh. I think this just separated from the spine. That's the problem with these old books. And then there's also a drawing for that story. So this is the oldest Mary Shelley stuff that I own, and I am super happy to have it. It is from, I mean, it's before she was putting her name. It was before she was going by Mary Shelley. It's just called The Author of Frankenstein. 1833 is when this magazine was published. So that's my coolest Mary Shelley book that I have. All right, let's see what people are talking about. Well, I had all that dead space. Let's see. Many decades ago, there was a made-for-television Frankenstein miniseries, which, as I recall, was very faithful to the original story. It was a very good take. Ooh, interesting. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I missed it somehow. November 7th for new Frankenstein film. Okay. I'm going to have to go check that out. I like Del Toro. I do. I enjoy a lot of his stuff. Some of it, I think, people may find slightly campy. I really liked his gothic horror that he did. I'm having a hard time remembering the title now. Crimson Peak. I enjoyed that. A lot of people hated that, and I thought it was really good. My dad has a collection of those hardcovers, Reader Digest bindings. Yeah, I try to stay away from those because I think if they're what I think you're talking about, they're the condensed books. So they're abridged. They're not the full stories. Man, I need a skull for my bookshelf. What kind of wizard am I? I've got two. I don't know. Yeah, there's the other one right behind my head. I got this guy over here and then this guy over here. And usually, and he's all the way across the room, I have a unicorn skull. And I have a unicorn skull because of Hard-Boiled Wonderland and The End of the World. Would you ever consider reading anything by Mary Shelley's mom? Oh, yeah. What was her name? Mary Wollstonecraft. I have read stuff by her. I did in college. She wrote some wonderful pieces about, some essays about, well, I wouldn't say I don't think she called it feminism at the time, but it's early feminist writing, really great stuff. I'm doing a read-along of Vindication of the Rights of Women after I finish Iliad and the Odyssey. That's exactly the essay I read in school. What's up, Jake? Shit, are we talking about Frankenstein? I just got here. I got married on Halloween, and we dressed up as the doctor and the bride. That's awesome. That's really cool. I didn't realize that Wollstonecraft was Shelley's mom. Yes, indeed. Her father was also quite a radical philosopher of the time, I believe. There's a 2-part Hallmark version from 2004 on YouTube. I wonder if that's the one that Deep Ashtray was talking about. Did you know who the person is regarding the skull? I mean, yeah, luckily they're both plastic. So I don't, they weren't real people. Although my buddy made a will, and he put in his will that he wants to give his skull to me after he dies. I don't think that's legal, but I don't know. It's very, very silly. I'd rather he keep his skull in his head. Maybe I'm gonna say it's a 1-to-1 unicorn skull for the book Hard Boiled Wonderland. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Richard? I guess you're wowing because of the wedding thing. Yeah. William Godwin. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, that's her dad. I don't know what was. That they're not real. Yeah, sorry. There are a lot of plastic people. These lives are so crazy. I figured I'd whip through these annotateds right away. I saw that TV Frankenstein. I think it was Faithful. Michael Sarrazin was the monster, and they went to the far north on a big ship. So okay, that sounds pretty good. I'll have to find that. What's up, Nightshade Holloway? Good day, everyone. Glad to catch another live stream. Have you watched the film about Mary Shelley? I did. I was not a huge fan, to be honest. I didn't love it. I felt like it took some liberties factually that weren't true. I wasn't a huge fan of it. All right. Last but not least, we have the annotated Dracula, which is by the same one that the Frankenstein was, although the Poe was a different one. This is by Potter. I wonder what my other ones are by. I don't know what publishers they're by. I've got 4 others in the other room. And again, it does all the same stuff. My opinion on Dracula is weird. I don't love it as most people that love horror as much as I do should. It's not my favorite. I prefer Carmilla by Le Fanu way more than Dracula. And of course, Camilla came out like 10 something years before Dracula, maybe even more. I can't remember. And a lot of people say that Dracula was inspired by Carmilla, sorry. Yeah. And Camilla has, is it Camilla? I think it's just Camilla. Has themes of lesbianism in it that I think Bram Stoker wanted to stay away from, and so he made Dracula and who was it, Mina, instead of what Camilla did. But Camilla's incredible. You should check it out. Okay, there's the 3 big classics. Morning is Dead by Anderson Prunty is my favorite. I don't know what that's connected to. I'm sorry. It might have been something I said earlier. That's a hard question. I mean, I grew up on Bela Lugosi, but Christopher Lee is incredible. I'm going to say both. I know that's cheap. 25 years before. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, Lee. All right. Yes, Camilla. Thank you. Yeah, Will of Genre. I don't know if I'm talking to Bob or if I'm talking to Zach, but I'm talking to one of these guys. I recently recorded a video with Will of Genre. They are reading, speaking of weird tales, and now we're getting to it. This is Jeff and Ann Vandermeer's amazing anthology called The Weird, which is just tons of old weird tales, and they've done an incredible job at finding all of these great old weird tales. Like, this is a whole education in weird in itself, and Wheel of Genre is going through every one of these tales one by one and making videos about it. Incredible stuff. I recently recorded with them. We talked about the Town of Cats. I'm not going to remember this guy's name. It's a Japanese writer, and it was a very weird story, and we talked about it. So go to Wheel of Genre. Watch them talk about every story in this weird book when you subscribe. It's so much fun. Plus, you'll get to see me coming up on the channel. Or you can go backwards, because I talked about another story with them in this one by Yunosuke Akutagawa called Hell Screen. So yeah, Will of Genre. If you're not already subscribed to them, you absolutely should be. They're incredible. Martin Landau and Ed Wood. Yep. Christopher Lee was a real life badass who actually did kill a few people. I think I've read about that. I think there was a point in Lord of the Rings where he was like, he was getting acting notes, and he's like, yeah, but that's not what happens when you really kill somebody. It's interesting how the original Dracula novel gets lost in many adaptations and abridged versions. At least that was my experience. Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. Christopher Lee looks more like Stoker's Dracula. He was tall and thin with red eyes. I wish there were a movie that stuck to the story. Yeah, that would be really wonderful if they. I think there's so many books that I wish would, movies that I would wish that they would make. I wish there's so many books that I wish they would make movies of and stick really close to the book. I think that would be wonderful. I have heard Lee spoke in legends regarding himself, but even if a fraction of it is true, he was a total legend. Do you know what sound a man makes when he's stabbed in the back? Because I do. Christopher Lee. Yeah, I think that's what he said during the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. A moment for Peter Cushing. What's going on? I just got home. Joe, you're not at work. That's fantastic. We're just talking about weird stories. We haven't gotten to them yet, though. We've been talking about Frankenstein, Dracula, and Edgar Allan Poe, but now we're going to jump into the weird. We're heading for it. Yeah, it's interesting because when I was a kid, I think I read probably more weird tales than I realized because we were obsessed with scary stories. And the reason that we were obsessed with scary stories was, in my part of the world, was because of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark trilogy. We were all obsessed with these. And because of that, I think that there was this boom in producing. Well, that's not true. A lot of these books I'm going to show, I think, came out before these. What year did Scary Stories come out? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. What year did this come out? Is this going to tell me, or is this going to be a more current one? Let's see. I feel like 70s. It's got to be the 70s, right? Nope. 81. Okay. Well, this is what got me into wanting to read scary stories. And so I started going backwards and trying to find all the scary stories that I could. And we started finding interesting stuff like this. I don't know if you guys remember Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but he did a large chunk of awesome ghost stories. And I'm just guessing here, that a lot of the ones that are in here might have been connected somehow to weird tales. I'm just going to look at this table of contents really quick and see if I recognize anybody in it. Jerome Bixby sounds familiar. Ray Bradbury. C.L. Moore, William Hope Hodgson, yeah, M.R. James, Frank Belknap Long, absolutely. And I've had this book since I was a kid, so I'm sure that I've read more weird tales than I realized, because I think this is what happened to weird tales after the magazine. I think, Andreea, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the magazine petered out in the 50s, right? And I think that it then became a place for anthologies until Sam Moskowitz brought it back in the 70s. And Sam Moskowitz himself was responsible for a lot of the anthologies of weird tales that we talk about. So yeah, I became obsessed with weird tales. I became obsessed with scary stories and started collecting all of the anthologies that I could find. All right, let's see some comments really quick. Love these books. Up more. Oh boy. Okay. My favorite vampire is Mrs. Armworth, 1978. I don't even know that. I'll have to check it out. Watched interview of Lee and said those red contacts meant he couldn't see what was going on in the scenes. He's acting blind. Movies that stick to books. War of the Worlds would make an amazing period movie, but they always want to modernize it. I agree. You can still have social commentary without setting it in a modern day. I agree. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of, the Tom Cruise one, was just not good. I have an anthology from 1983, Blackwater, the Book of Fantastic Literature. Sounds awesome. Love those books. I think you're talking about scary stories. I love them too. I still retell some of those to this day. Me too. Me too. Lost my internet for a minute. Wanted to say thanks and that our episode together will be up next week. All right. 1 week. Go subscribe to Will of Genre so you can see me talking with them about weird stories. It's going to be awesome. Plus, they're great. It's Zach. All right. What's up, Zach? Stringer Than Fiction. Thanks for joining us, Stringer Than Fiction. I just finished Shock by Matheson, and it seemed like it inspired scary stories. Interesting. I know, yeah, Matheson. Was Matheson a Weird Tales writer? When did I know he wrote for Twilight Zone, right? I'm guessing Matheson was in Weird Tales. Yes, I remember Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, probably the most famous anthology ever. Yes, seriously. There was one Hitchcock episode which literally left me paralyzed by fear. Oh, man. Do you remember which one it is? I want to watch it now. And a lot of your gory collections. Yes, mid-50s and then revived twice. Yeah, I guess a lot of the gory collections would have Weird Tales in them too. Matheson was so influential. Yeah. Anne Vandermeer also added Weird Tales later in the second revival. Oh, she was an editor for Weird Tales. That is cool. Do you feel like Anne Vandermeer had a different editorial vision? That's a great question. One of those Hitchcock's anthologies brought me my first taste of Bradbury. I think probably mine too. Blew my little mind. Loved it in my school library in the 60s. Yeah, this is stuff I would check out from the bookmobile. Every editor brought something different, Zach or Bob. It's Zach. Can't talk for long, but feel like a lot of people on here may like Old Moon Quarterly. It doesn't get a ton of attention, but is a mag with wolf-like quality. Interesting. I'll have to look into it. I don't know that. I had a subscription to Weird Tales in the 80s. Nice. There should be no social commentary in scary movies. F woke to hell. I don't agree with that. I like some social commentary, but I believe it's kind of impossible to have film or a piece of art without a little bit of social commentary. We all are living in the same ideology, so it's going to be social commentary no matter what side of politics it falls on. Yes, Matheson and Beaumont wrote some wonderful Twilight Zones. Yeah. I think about the Scary Stories Ghost Church all the time. Yeah, Matheson is in Weird Tales 1953 Slaughterhouse with a quick Google search. Thank you so much. I figured he would have been. I actually just rewatched the 2005 War of the Worlds. I adored it as a kid, but it really only has 2 fantastic scenes plus a lot of stuff that doesn't work. Possibly most irritating kids in a movie ever. I love the way Bradbury puts his stories together in Illustrated Man. Yeah, the frame story, or I forgot what they call it. There's a name in sci-fi where they put those books together, and I usually say it all the time, and now I can't remember the word. Yeah, Mitai Doti Walker made me afraid of people singing outside my house at midnight. Heck yeah. Lynn Carter was an editor too. Well, he put out 4 little columns of the best Weird Tales. Interesting. I wonder if any of mine are going to be Lynn Carter. Just watched the Long Walk adaptation. It was really, really well acted. Yeah, I want to see it. I'm afraid it's going to be really, really dark. All right, I'm trying to catch up here. I do have that Weird Tales hardback and just picked up the Yellow Wallpaper Penguin Classic Anthology. I can't recall that writer at the moment. Who wrote Yellow Wallpaper? It was Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Yeah, and also she wrote a utopian novel, Herland. Yeah, which I haven't read yet, but I'm really interested in. Old Man Quarterly is sick. I have some issues. You'd love them, Chris. Oh, interesting. I got to check it out. I don't even mind that they rejected one of my stories. They did. Fix Up. That was what I was looking for, Andreea. Thank you. Yellow Wallpaper is Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Thank you. All right. My next Alfred Hitchcock is Haunted Houses. This I remember reading as a kid. This isn't the copy I had as a kid, but mine was just like it. And I remember staring at that scary house with the ghost and Alfred Hitchcock's head on it. Yeah. Yeah, really, really cool book. I bet this is from the 60s if I had to guess. Random House, copyright 1961. Manly Wade Wellman, Let's Haunt a House. It opens with. Lots of people I'm not familiar with. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's in here. Mark Twain. I'll just hold this up. Not long. If you want to pause on it, you can pause on it. But that's what's in that one. So yeah, I just started collecting all the little ghost stories I could find. Oh yeah, didn't Shirley Jackson's The Lottery have social commentary? Absolutely. I think many artists are trying to say more than just being entertaining. Many artists are trying to make points, and I like that. I read for that in books. I try to read analogy. I mean, it's what I'm trained to do. I can't help it. Beaumont and Matheson have Penguin Classic anthologies. Nice. I like Robert E. Howard's Lovecraftian stories, of course. Thomas Ligotti's. Yes, I haven't. I've read Robert E. Howard, some of his scary stories. I read Pigeons from Hell, but I haven't read any of his Cthulhu stuff. So, or love. Oh, I guess. Oh, you're saying Lovecraftian, so maybe not Cthulhu stuff. But although Nick did send me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this down because it's right directly behind me. I'm not going to be able to find it. Nick sent me some kind of Cthulhu, a book of Cthulhu stories, I think, by Robert E. Howard, which seems really cool. Herland is in that Penguin Classic. Nice. Just entertaining gets boring. I agree. Do we include the Dangerous Visions anthologies? Include it in Scary Stories anthologies? I think there's some scary stuff in Dangerous Visions. I'm going to keep pushing other channels here. I'm going to say again, Wheel of Genre. Those guys read every story in Dangerous Visions and did a video on it. And they have an obscenely low amount of subscribers. It's mind blowing. Go check out their channel. You'll love it. I don't include it in. Well, I think there's a Richard Matheson story in Dangerous Visions, so maybe it does connect in a roundabout ways to Weird Tales. Ligotti is so good, and he has the coolest story titles. I don't know if I've read this person. I've seen the name. It sounds like somebody I'll have to read. Horror and sci-fi are genres that are tailor-made for social commentary, and the most iconic of both genres are full of social commentary. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Shining, Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist. Yeah, I think that's true, Curtis. Included in weird fiction. That's a hard one. It seems to me that would be considered more science fiction, but I don't know. It's always hard to try to put things in a genre. I prefer the social commentary brings up points for the reader to digest and interpret, but not when they preach at the reader. That makes sense. You want it like something that you can pull out if you'd like to, but isn't slamming you over the head. That makes sense. The 1973 Spanish film, The Spirit of the Beehive, about a young girl's fascination with the film Frankenstein and set during the Franco regime is excellent, is a masterpiece in Spanish cinema. Wow. That sounds really cool. I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look that one up. I can't imagine horror without social commentary. That's the way the genre works. I listen to Wheel of Genre on Spotify. Nice. I don't have Spotify, but you can listen to Wheel of Genre on Spotify, so that's really cool. Also, again, Andreea, thank you for being here, my fact checker. If you guys have not subscribed to Andreea, she knows way more about Weird Tales than I do. Her channel is incredible. I put a link already in the description to her channel, so click on that, subscribe to her channel. You will absolutely love it. If you like Poe and Lovecraft, you should like Thomas Ligotti. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'm trying to go through a lot of these Weird Tales authors, so I'm sure I will make it there. I'll Watch seems like a cool anthology. I found it has Poe, Hawthorne, Bierce, Dunsany, Irvine, Saki, and a host of others. That sounds really good. Here's another book I found when I was younger: Irish Tales of Terror. I like this one a lot. 22 Bewitching Stories of Irish Magic and Mystery by James Joyce, Ray Bradbury, H.P. Lovecraft, Daniel Defoe, Yeats, Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu, and others. I guess Ray Bradbury might be writing something about Ireland in that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, lots of fun with this one. What's the stream about? What are you talking about? Are you just going live because boredom? Get a friend, man. You guys are my friends, Jake. That's it. Just you guys. I'm trying to hang out with you guys. No, the theme is Weird Tales. I'm just showing off Weird Tales stuff, talking about Weird Tales stuff. Did Stoker write Dracula in some part as a commentary about organized religion? I have not read Dracula recently enough to feel confident citing any textual evidence for any ideas I have of what it's about. But it could be. I liked the 80s, 90s Night Vision anthology. That was where the story Hellraiser was published. Ooh, nice. Now you're talking, laddie. That Irish book tales look cool. Yeah, really, truly. Yeah. Great art on it. I wonder who did the art. I wonder if it's going to tell me. There's a couple of places. Yep. Hector Garrido. Gaido. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Garrido. Very cool. Very scary. Now you're in trouble, Jake. Jeez. I'll show some older. Well, let me show you these really quick. I have a ton of these. I'm sure Andreea has more than I do. But they started just making anthologies of weird tales. Marvin Kaye, he's the one that did a lot of those books with the gory jacket arts that I showed off in the live with Andreea I did earlier. This says the magazine that never dies on the top there, which was their slogan for a while. Really, really awesome. You get a little taste of that old Weird Tales art in some of these, but not as much, of course, as having the real deal. And I've got a ton of these. Weird Tales, the magazine that never dies. The best of Weird Tales, you can tell I got at Hastings, probably. Weird Tales, 7 Decades of Terror. And then here we have one. Weird Tales, 32 Unearthed Terrors. A story from each year the classic horror and fantasy magazine was published. So this one, they went and published one kind of forgotten story from every era. Okay, hold on. That's the Weird Tales. Yes, sir. Someone suggested Corin finished the Knight of Swords and now halfway through the Queen of Swords. Great suggestion. I don't know. Oh, Coram. Yeah, Michael Moorcock. And probably Tim. My daughter just said, nice books, Dumbledore. Yeah, nice. I have a Dumbledore hat I found that I'm glad I still have, that I'm going to bust out in a video one of these times. He would be Dumbledore. Well, I didn't know that there were that many Weird Tales omnibuses. I think there's a ton. Andreea, back me up. I think there's a lot of these. I even have one called Rivals of Weird Tales. And this one is stories that were published in magazines that were not Weird Tales. Let me see who's in these ones. Starts with Cool Air by Lovecraft. I did a video on that on the channel. Clark Ashton Smith, Jack Williamson, Robert E. Howard, Hugh B. Cave. I know that Andreea is on a Hugh B. Cave kick right now. I'm going to have to make sure to show my Hugh B. Cave before this video is done. Yeah, so they've pulled all the big names: Henry Kuttner, August Derleth, C.L. Moore, Manly Wade Wellman. So these are stories that they published that were not published in Weird Tales, I guess. Give me a minute for a drink. Let's see, read a comment here. There you go. Look at my cool cup. All kinds of scary stuff on there. Okay. That cover is from a Smith story. It's awesome. Dang it. I wish I saw that earlier. Oh, maybe it was this. Nah. Dang it, I can't remember. A few more, but not that many more. There's 4 short volumes by Lynn Carter and maybe a few more. I made a video on the Rivals. Had not read it yet. I haven't read it yet either. I just got that one recently. Smith mentioned. Yeah, Clark Ashton Smith. I'm really excited to dive deeper into. I've done one of his stories on the channel. The Weird Tales story is another one that I don't have. The 100-year celebration and maybe one more big one. All right, I'm doing good on my anthology collection, it looks like. Lois Tilton wrote 2 scary vampire novels in the early 90s. Interesting. I don't know that writer. Always Together by Hugh B. Cave is in the other anthology that I got for $1, published by Playboy Paperbacks. All right. Yeah, I've got a couple of weird Hugh B. Cave things. I think this is the same guy. I have an 80s looking novel called The Lower Deep. I think that's the same Hugh B. Cave. My goal was to not get up this live stream, by the way, because I don't have a co-host to talk when I get up. So I took out so many books to make sure. So I guess the goal is to try to see if you can make me get up. The other Hubie Cave that I have is really interesting. It's published. I don't know who it's published by. It has an ISBN number. Tattered Pages Press. Published Magazines I Remember by Hubie Cave. I don't know if my camera is going to focus on it. This looks incredible. It's just Hubie Cave reminiscing nonfiction about writing in magazines back in the day, and then it includes some of his stories. Along with all the art. It looks super, super cool. Oh, it's got other people's work in here too. This must be stuff that he loved. Maybe it's all stories that he loved. Anyway, I'm excited to read this because it's nonfiction, and I think it's going to have a lot of really cool stuff in it. This is my rarest, weirdest Hubie Cave, and I'm glad to have it. Oh yeah, I already did that one. I've been reading Smith stuff lately. That man's stories were freaky. Now Smith was if I'm thinking of the right guy, I think he was the poet of the bunch, right? And then he started moving to writing fiction. But I think he started as a poet. Oh right, there's weird vampires too. Thanks for the memo. Weird vampires too. I don't know. There were some books from my school library which gave profiles to fictional creatures, creature catalog, and Book of Dragons. All right. You're not making me get up. Me too. And I loved them. The one that I have still that I had forever was the Encyclopedia of Ghosts and Spirits. Man, I spilled water on it. I think this might... Either I got it at a library book sale or it's an illegal copy. I don't know. But I've had it since I was a teenager. And this is truly, it's just like an encyclopedia. And it just goes through, let me see if I can find a cool page. Andreea will like that page. It just goes through all the different kinds of spooky ghosts and things, monsters, and yeah, it's really fun. I really love this. I have another one, The Dictionary of Imaginary Places, which I really did like a lot, but I did recently pop it open for the first time in years, and I looked up Carcosa, and it wasn't there, so that made me a little bit sad. Because I don't know if it must be Must have a lot older stuff, but yeah. Yeah, so those are my dictionaries and encyclopedias. Recalls my unicornus manuscripts. Ever read any EC comics? Absolutely. I have a funny story about EC comics. If I think you're talking about the old horror comics, right? I grew up in a small Mormon town, and we would go to the junkyard every now and again. And I mean, it's where everybody just threw all their stuff. It was just like, up the road into the canyon a little bit. And one day there was a box by the side of the road, and while everybody was dumping trash, I peeked inside this box, and it was filled to the brim with old 70s, early 80s horror comics. Absolutely incredible. I took the whole box home and read them over and over again. And I'm sure that some kid, probably his family, probably had a very religious family there in Utah, saw those and was like, oh, no way, and just hucked him on the side of the road by the dump. So I'm sorry to whoever that kid was, but yeah, I got a real boon out of it. Absolutely loved him. An anthology of weird tales featuring vampires only, Chris. Oh, right. There's weird vampires too. Okay, fantastic. I didn't even know that. That's cool. Mergunstrom and Others is a great collection of Hugh B. Cave stories, 26 in all, has a nice introduction by Hugh B. Cave himself. That sounds really interesting. I still have my Scholastic editions of Midnight Fright and Strange Tales from the Supernatural from way back in the sixth grade. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm lucky that I didn't get to keep everything. I've had to replace things, but I do have, like, I have a couple fairy tale books that I had as a kid. I have a book of Bible stories that I had as a kid. So I still have some of my stuff. Carcosa isn't in that book because it's real. Well, okay. I like that. That makes it a little bit better. That's why it's missing. Okay. Made it through all those. I made it through all of those. Let me show you a couple of old pulps that I have. I should have brought out all my EC comics. I have some of them. Or those horror comics. I have some of those horror comics. This is from 73, June of 1973. Tales of Terror and the Macabre, The Haunt of Horror. And I really want to find part 2 of this. I just found this at a random yard sale for like $1 or something. And I really want part 2 of it because it has The Conjure Wife in it. I did The Conjure Wife by Fritz Leiber on the channel. Where did I put it? Yeah, this is my copy of The Conjure Wife. It looks like gothic horror in this cover. I guess it kind of is. But yeah, this is the 1970s reprint of The Conjure Wife, but I can't find the second magazine. Everybody wants like $30 for the second magazine, and I'm not so much into it. But when I did The Conjure Wife on my channel, I did actually find for cheap the first place it was ever published, which is Unknown Worlds, 1943, April of 1943. Unknown Worlds, the first time that Fritz Leiber published Conjure Wife. And this thing is old. And I actually got this and 2 other early Unknown Worlds on eBay because they were a little bit water damaged. I think they were pretty cheap. I think I got the whole set for $15, $5 a magazine, which was fine with me, mainly for the cool art and to say, that I have the original. So there's this weird statue that comes to his door that's haunting him, and they made it into a kind of a dinosaur. If you look out there, it looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex out there. But yeah, I really I like to have that original art in these magazines. I really do. It just adds so much to a story. I wish people did that more often. Just in any random book, you know. Just look at this. That's classic. She got something scary haunting her there. Just really, really neat stuff in this. So there's my Conjure Wife run there. Got the book and this 70s reprint of the first half. I need to find the rest of them eventually. Dogosaur. It does look like a dogosaur. Okay, let's see here. Laird Barron is a solid modern author in the Weird Tales style. Awesome. I'll have to look into him. Yeah, I like that. I know that there's an anthology by, I don't know if it's Jeff and Ann Vandermeer or Jeff Vandermeer or Ann Vandermeer. It's one or both of them. That's all new weird fiction, which I think would be awesome. I wonder if Wheel of Genre plan on doing that eventually. Listening to Jim Butcher's Dresden Files books changes. Listening to Jim Butcher's Dresden Files book changes at the moment. Minister vampires and sexy vampires. Right on. Oh, monster vampires. Yeah, that's different than minister vampires. I just picked up 2 Haunt of Horrors last week, pristine copies. Are either one of them the second one of Conjure Wife? No, that's good. Those Haunt of Horrors are really cool looking. I like them a lot. I see that it has Conjure Wife. Yeah. Dogosaur. Yes, I have some creepy magazines. You guys are gonna make me get up. That's gonna have to be later because they're in a cabinet with a lock on it, which is really stupid. I might have to do a comic book live, or maybe I'll do a comic book. Just I could do a table down comic book and show off my comic books. I'll have to do that. Yeah, I like creepy magazine. Something I found that I absolutely love that I think is a really cool way to get into the idea of weird tales is this by H.P. Lovecraft, Supernatural Horror in Literature. This is like Stephen King's Dance Macabre, but H.P. Lovecraft style. Instead of talking about movies, of course, it's all about literature, and he talks about a lot of cool stuff. He talks about The Willows by Algernon Blackwood in this, and he says some really beautiful stuff about that. And I read that recently, and The Willows was such a good story. Really incredible. You can see it on my channel. I just did it a couple of videos back. That's some of the best weird tales I've read in a long time. Really, really fun. So yeah, this is a really interesting read. A lot of fun stuff about literature, a lot about Poe and stuff like that. Only 2 digest issues of The Haunt of Horror were published. Oh, so you have this one, and then the second one with Conjure Wife. Well, right on. You did what I couldn't do. Yeah. Mine's got a little bit of what looks like rust or something on the front there. I don't know what that is. Why are the creepy mags locked up? I started putting my all my comic books, just because I needed a place to put them, in a display shelf that has locking cabinet doors, and that's just where all the comic books ended up. No reason. The Clark video was a treat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Woo, made it in before the end. Just finished watching your video right before this went up on Tolkien's Last Story, Ben. And what an incredible video. I've had that book on my shelf for so long. And while I was watching your video, I was thinking to myself, man, that might be something to grab and try before I reread Lord of the Rings. It sounds kind of right up my alley. What is it? What is it, Ben? What's the name of it? If you guys have not seen Grammaticus's channel, another great channel. He and I started at the exact same time, October of 2023. Grammaticus and I both started our YouTube channel. So Grammaticus, you're coming up on your 2-year anniversary soon. I know that because I am. Smith of Wotan. I almost had the story. Yeah, great video. Yes. Here we go. Smith of Wotan Major. Great video that Grammaticus just put up. If you're a Tolkien collector and have that but don't know what it's about, I think that if you watch Grammaticus's video, you're going to want to watch it, or you're going to want to read it. Really good stuff. That's what I should have said, Joe. I locked them up because they're creepy. The creepy magazines are trying to escape. That's right. Hey, Grammaticus, haven't seen your new video yet. Oh, Wooten. Ever read William Hope Hodgson in the same vein as Arthur Machen and Algernon Blackwood? I've read... What have I read already? So in October, I'm reading House on the Borderland. Absolutely. I have Nightland here in a crazy copy. The only copy I've ever come across in the wild. It is so slanted. But and of course, I'm collecting all of the Ballantine adult fantasy books, and I don't have the two that make up this one, which makes me sad. But Jake has them. Jacob Polk Mortem has them, and they look super cool. Have I read any of his short fiction? I feel like I have, and now I'm drawing a blank on whether I have or not. I feel like anyway. House on the Borderland is coming up. So, yeah, I'm excited to read that. I was hoping for a story like that. Yeah, I failed you on that one. I'm sorry. Smith of Wotan Major. Love that one. I definitely have to watch it now. Yeah, please do. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Grammaticus stuff is great. Take a drink. Dead air. All right. Going to go through some cool paperbacks now. Start with an important one, The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. I went through a large chunk of the stories in this book on my channel. This was a really, really good time. Inspirational to H.P. Lovecraft, and I'm sure a lot of other Weird Tales writers. I think this is similar to the first edition hardback cover. I've seen pictures of it. I've never seen it in real life, but I would love to get a first of this, but I don't think that'll ever happen. They're getting real expensive. But yeah, this was a mind bender. Really, truly, really, really wild stuff in this one. And I'm glad just to have this ace copy because they really are hard to come by. This one I keep bringing up. I think I've brought this up before. Yeah, Charles G. Finney, who I think is the guy that wrote, yeah, Dr. Lau, The Ghosts of Manacle. This is Western Weird Tales. The damnedest book you ever read. 7 uncanny stories and a short novel by the author of The Circus of Dr. Lau. It says the Wild West, but on the back, but it's crossed out and it says the Weird West. Manacle, Arizona is in the heart of the old cowpoke country, but Manacle harbors far stranger creatures than ranchers and rustlers. What about the lady who turns into a dog and those puritanical flying monsters? And why is it dangerous to do someone a favor in Manacle? Yeah, this sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. weird tales that are Western weird tales. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I hope that it will fix itself. Come on now. Come on now. Focus. 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 It wants me to be there. All right. Sorry about that. I'm not good looking enough to need to be in focus. So there was this huge run of paperback weird tales style anthologies that were produced as well, just like the ones I showed earlier that were hardback. Here's a couple more. Alfred Hitchcock presents Grave Business and 13 more stories they wouldn't let me do on TV. And then more stories for late at night. This is a companion to the haunted house one, I think. I just love that picture. So did he. He used it on a couple of covers, I think. Loved these kind of books when I was a kid. And then I've got a couple here that I believe, there's 3 here that are edited by Alden H. Norton that I think at least one of them, and maybe more, were actually ghost edited by Sam Moskowitz. I have Horror Times 10, which I've almost done the story by story on my channel. There's some really wonderful stuff in here. It's got a very scary story by Robert Howard, Robert E. Howard, The Dead Remember, kind of a curse story that's really interesting. Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft. That's why I read this one. The Lonesome Place by August Derleth is wonderful. It's my second Derleth, and I really enjoyed it. I really wish my camera would focus. His Unconquerable Enemy by W.C. Morrow. I'd never heard of Morrow, and I read him in this one. I read another Morrow story called, I think it's called Over a Bottle of Absinthe in this one. And then I liked it so much that I moved on to this one. And this one has his most famous book or story, which is His Unconquerable Enemy, which is probably the most effed up weird tale I've read so far. Like insane, scary, gory. I did a video about it on the channel if you want to check it out. These books were terrifying. And I do think a lot of them were in connection with Sam Moskowitz. He does a lot of the intros and that kind of stuff. So yeah, these 3 I absolutely love. And of course, this one has, and of course, this one, no, I haven't even showed it yet. Plus I have this one, The Devil's Generation, which has an incredible Frank Frazetta cover. One of my favorite Frank Frazetta paintings of all time. Really cool cover on that one. Yeah, so these 4, I've done pieces of these, I think all of these at one point on the channel as I go through my Weird Tales adventure, and they've been really, really fun. Let me do some comments really quick, and I'll do a couple more of those. Sorry about my camera. I don't know. House on the Borderline is a short read, but it's wild as hell. I'm so looking forward to it. I've been planning a novella about a young man in 10th century Europe journeying through the Fey realm to save his childhood friend from malevolent fairies. I might need to read a Wooten Major before. Yeah. There's also a lot of fairy tales that you could read that have that same stuff. Again, I keep doing this, you guys. Tim's channel, Secret Fire Books. If you haven't subscribed to that, go do that. Also, Curtis has a wonderful channel. Go check out Deep in the Reads. I just started rereading The Lord of the Rings myself, hoping I like it this time. Yeah, I'm in talks with Tim from Secret Fire Books that we're talking about doing a reread of Lord of the Rings in 2026. I loved The Hobbit growing up, but I DNF'd Lord of the Rings. And of course, this was a very busy time in my life when I was in getting my undergrad and was kind of new to college. And I think a little bit of the overwhelm might have been one of the reasons that I DNF'd that book. So I want to try again and see how I feel about that. Western Weird Tales. This is why I follow you, right? It sounds so strange. I can't even I'm so excited about this book. I'm going to crack into it. I'll probably do some in October. Look at that, just so weird. The Weird West. I'm lucky I find this stuff. That's the real truth. I forgot about that Wild West one. Sounds wild. Yeah, it does. I guess Hitchcock left the supernatural stuff to be collected in his anthology collections because I can't remember supernatural elements in his films. Yeah, good point. I think you're right. Actually, maybe the birds. Yeah, that one was de Moray or Daphne de Moray. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I read that Morrow story. Crazy body horror, right? Yeah, his unconquerable enemy. Woo. Yeah, that was crazy. Love that Frazetta. Me too. Great Frazetta. Can't go wrong with Frazetta. No, you cannot. I have that Gedalia with the Frazetta as well. Love that cover. Need to read it still though. Yeah, I've read chunks through it. Yeah. Which one did I read in this? I can't remember. Maybe the Algernon Blackwood. I can't remember. No. The Other Wing. Yeah. The Other Wing by Algernon Blackwood. I read out of this and I absolutely loved it. Did a video on it on the channel. This one's really cool. 9 Strange Stories. Great cover. And then listen to this. It's got Borges, Hortense Kalischer. I don't know who that is. Shirley Jackson. Awesome. D.H. Lawrence, Jack London, and others. Really, really quite a cool collection. We got some Brian Aldiss in there. Rudyard Kipling. Yeah. Looks really, really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what I'm going to do about this camera. I don't know if this is going to be the norm from now on. Anytime I hold something up, it takes like 20 minutes to refocus. Drives me nuts. I just got another camera at a yard sale. There was this professor that was selling all this stuff because he had just retired. And one of the things he had was this Cybertrack H4. So maybe I'll try, it's probably an older camera, but maybe I'll try this to see if it will, not now, of course, to see if it will focus better than this one does. Okay, we got through all that. Now I can get on to the crazy stuff. Combining Western stories with horror is a great idea. There's a great Twilight Zone episode called The Grave with Lee Marvin. That one is wonderfully creepy. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I think Robert E. Howard, a lot of his Pigeons from Hell stuff feels like a mix of Western and Weird Tales. Gotta say, I'm digging the different backdrop, Chris. Yeah, this is where I like to sit when I talk about horror. This is all my horror stuff. I'm sitting right across from the DAW shelf. The DAW shelf is across the room from me. So I would be facing the exact opposite direction. So whenever I'm making videos with the DAW shelf behind me, I'm looking at these horror books. So all my science fiction's over there. I don't need to show that one. Oh. I just recently showed this, but I have Faust. This is all books that are illustrated by Harry Clark, who I am absolutely in love with as an illustrator. One of my favorite illustrators of all time. Just does the weirdest stuff. I just did a video on this, so I don't need to show it all. But I'm going through this shelf up here of kind of my horror gems. That's why I'm showing it. This is my copy of Tales of Mystery and Imagination. That is also Harry Clark doing the illustrations. And then the one that I didn't remember that I had, because I have a large chunk of my collection is folk and fairy tales. So I forgot about this one. This is Hans Christian Andersen and Perrault's Fairy Tales, drawn by Harry Clark. And I'm going to show these. I'm going to do a second Harry Clark video and do this one, and then I'm going to combine the two and re-upload it as one, because there's some good Harry Clark stuff in this one as well. It looks like you have a soft focus lens on you, like when they film close up of Pretty Woman. Yeah, I have no idea. I bought a $70 webcam at Best Buy. I just don't know about the focus. Whose skeleton is that behind you? Lovecraft's, and that's Poe over there. Chris, I'm serious. I think Apollo must like your voice or something. He keeps running up to me whenever I play one of your Apollo is my favorite. That is a cute puppy, and I'm sure he's not a puppy, but all dogs are puppies to me. I think I've seen that one, Nightshade Holloway. It's great. I think it's the only Twilight Zone he did. Yeah, I'm going to have to check it out. I have a Twilight Zone DVD, but I think it's like a best of. It's like 4 discs of Twilight Zone, but it's not like the ones that are just each season collected in order. Isn't it? I think Marvin was on the sauce during filming, from what I've read. You can't tell by his performance. So, man, I love the Twilight Zone stuff. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I'm going to have some cleaning up to do. All right, let's get into some more off the gems. That might fall. Yeah. Couple of Dovers. I think it was when we were with Jeff's Cave of Cool Books that he was talking about the Dover books, that he really liked these Dover reprints. And I have 2 of them here that seem very interesting. 5 Victorian ghost novels and 3 supernatural novels of the Victorian period. And I've heard of very few of these. It's just kind of a quick kind of gothic supernatural Victorian library. So yeah, fun on those. Let's see. Seth Ball. I don't think I've seen you in here. Thanks for joining us. Some great recent weird Western short story books were Straight Outta Tombstone and Follow Up. I haven't even heard of that. And Dead Man's Hand, an anthology of the Weird West. Love this kind of stuff. Those both sound incredible. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for those. Joe Chewbacca, isn't it? I think Marvin. Oh, we already did that. Did I miss anybody else? No. Okay. Hunter Rest, stop saying hello. Looking forward to catching your show when I get home. Thank you, Captain Finity. You're traveling all through time on this show. I'm all in for a Harry Clark video. I've already got one up. I think you already commented on it, Ben. But yeah, I'm going to make another one with that third book that I missed. And then I think he only has 2 other books that he illustrated, and they're not well-known titles. I hope to find them eventually, but people charge like $150 for them. It's the creepy magazines trying to get out. That's right. They keep making creepy noises. It's hard not having a co-host. I miss Virgil. I'm super used to always having somebody to make sure there's no dead space. So this is somebody I think is absolutely connected to Weird Tales. The first time I heard of this was Michael K. Vaughan was talking about this writer in one of his videos, and talking about how great of a horror writer this was that nobody talks about. And it's William Fryer Harvey. And I don't know if this is an occult detective or what it is, but Michael K. Vaughan brought it up, and I was like, that sounds interesting. So I kept it in my brain, and I swear the next day I went to my local Savers thrift store, walked in, and this was on the shelf. I was shocked. So yeah, 13 suspense stories. This is one of those print on demands, and it's not great. Like, why is that suddenly bold there? I have no clue. These are never great, but apparently this is a rare guy to find. So I'm excited. It might be an occult detective thing. I don't know. But yeah, if Michael K. Vaughan randomly brings it up and says he really loves it, I have a tendency to trust. I think that he knows his horror. He's really good about it. He just did a video that I watched today about good and evil, and it was a lot of fun. It really was. Okay, now we're getting into the stuff. Oh yeah, Constance is agreeing with me. Michael K. Vaughan put up a great one, Good and Evil. Saw it today. Absolutely. I would co-host for you. Nice, Curtis. Maybe one of these times we should do that. That would be fun. Usually I have Virgil, of course, but as you can see, sometimes I just do it on my own. Hey, some people make print on demand work. Yeah, I know, you're right. I'm not talking about that specifically. I think that there's printers, I don't know, people that grab stuff from the public domain and make really crappy versions of them and then sell them as print on demands. I haven't seen any like when independent writers are getting print on demand and really working over those manuscripts to have them look exactly as they want them to. I haven't seen a lot of trouble with that. Harvey wrote August Heat. Yes, I believe that is one of those that was in here. Is that a good one? Is that the place to start? Yeah, August Heat is the second story in here. Yeah, I'll have to. Never mind. Yeah, Constance, I saw it today too. It was really cool. By the way, Chris, do you have an email address or something I can send your Cameo pages to? Absolutely. Liminal Spaces email is right there on the front page. If you just click my info section, the email is there at liminalspaces03 at gmail.com. Not at liminalspaces03 at gmail.com. I'm so tired of print on demand. On one hand, I'm glad things can stay in print. On the other hand, it's a crapshoot on quality every time. Yeah. I'm speaking more of the people taking stuff from the public domain to make money from it. Yeah. Oh yeah, those are always bad. Robert E. Howard's stuff is going into the public domain, and there's so many of his books with crappy AI covers online. I'm sure. Yeah. Dagon Studios. Yeah, you're good. I just kind of decided to do this all of a sudden because I wanted to talk about weird tales. Of course, we got to talk about Manly Wade Wellsman's Worse Things Waiting. This was originally published by Carcosa Press. Mine is a Shadow Ridge Press, and it's a paperback, but it has all the same stuff that's in the hardback. There's somebody that I guess is probably already in bed that recently had a viewer give a very, very cool version. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of this in our corner of booktube later. Great stuff. Who's the artist in this one? Illustrations by Lee Brown Coy. Cool stuff. Oh, Andreea knows this illustrator. Love that artist so much. Yeah, wonderful stuff. Same with Fritz Leiber. Covers are all basic now. No one wants to pay for the art. Yeah, I think that's true. The publishers specifically don't want to pay their artists, which is too bad. I was earlier talking about I would love if more just regular novels put art in their novels. There's something so fun about reading something wonderful, and I know that for a long time, like, art was for kids' books and adults read books without art, but I loved it as an adult. I still love if I read and then I turn the page and somebody has drawn a version of what I've just read. It's incredible. Oh, so good. Could you say Wellman's name 3 times in a row? You might summon you know who. Yeah, he's not here right now. I don't know what time it is in Japan. but I assume that's who you're talking about, or the other person I was talking about that recently got a kick-ass copy of this from a viewer. I'm excited to watch his video when he talks about that. I'm not going to say who, though. I have a Koi art monograph where he talks about, it's a monograph, where he talks about the recurrent lattice structures he put into his Illus, a weird tale in and of itself. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, Curtis is a fantastic illustrator. Some of you can see some of his work on his channel. I feel lucky to currently be illustrating a book right now. Chat is right. It's getting rough out there for artists being devalued, I'm sure. Let's see. By the way, I loved seeing those Faust illustrations recently. Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's the minute I opened that book, I was just like, whoa. Yeah, it was that's the kind of stuff you want to see when you open a book. Really, truly, in my opinion. Pretty pictures are nice. That's right. I really enjoyed the Harry Clark video and would love to see more videos of art from these books. Absolutely. I'm going to put up more. I am. Who will you go for as Halloween this year? I don't know, man. I just recently found my wizard hat, so I might just do the obvious and get some gray robes and my gray wizard hat and go get me some candy. We were walking around. My kid was probably 6. This is when I was still married to her mom. We were walking around a neighborhood trick-or-treating. She was running up to the door, and we went up to this one place, and they were giving out Jello shots to all the adults. That was a fun Halloween. Oh, man. Moosophonic Recordings dropped the name of the monograph. Yeah, I don't even know what a monograph is. Like album covers, sometimes you just want to see some kick-ass painting to give your brain a jumping on point for the experience you're having with the material. Well said. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will be the prisoner. I don't know what that's in connection to now. Dang it. Dang it. Elric. I could do Elric. Get some red contacts. Well, it'd be like Elric about to retire. Elric. Does Elric retire at the end of Stormbringer? That's what I'm guessing. I'm hoping he just retires, and he and his cousin, what's her name? I forgot her name. Live happily ever after. And I hope that her brother comes around and they're all in the Bahamas drinking, I don't know, fuzzy navels. Is that what people drink in the Bahamas? Yeah. Fuzzy navels. No. Damn, I don't want you to tell me. Maybe I'll actually do a video on the 2 Roger Dean books that I have, Views and Magnetic Storm. I have Magnetic Storm. It's a great book. I have it down here. Yeah, that is a wonderful, wonderful book. And you absolutely should do a video, but you can't do it as fast as you did your DAWs. You got to let us look at the pictures for a minute. Hold them up to the camera and really let us take in the Roger Dean goodness. Keep changing your outfit. Go back to get more Jello shots. Didn't I see you before? Who? Me? No, the other guy had that. Oh, man. How long have I been going, you guys? Are we having fun? How come I can't tell? Oh, up here. Now in 28. Psh, we just started. At Infinite Text. Arts Unknown, The Life and Art of Lee Brown Coy. Louis Ortiz Nonstop Press. That sounds super cool. What is the best classic weird fantasy besides the obvious Lord of the Rings? So I'm really, I haven't read enough Dunsany or Dunsany. Gods of, I always screw up this pronunciation. Pagana was really good. But for me, like I obsessed for a while with William Morris. William Morris, early fantasy. And he was trying to kind of write what he considered to be like medieval manuscripts. That was what he was going for. But oh man, his Waters of the Wondrous Isles, it's slow. It's not a I'm going to read this real quick. You like take a couple of chapters and let it sink in. So much good stuff. In fact, I think Ursula K. Le Guin took a bit from Water of the Wondrous Isles for the third book. No, the first book, Tales from Earthsea, when he goes to the end of the world, basically. Maybe it is the third book. William Morris. Yeah, William Morris also did poetry. Absolutely incredible poetry. He did a poetic rendition of, I forgot to mute my Discord. He did a poetic rendition of the world's first literary fairy tale. I always get in trouble when I say this. When I say literary fairy tale, of course, I mean a fairy tale that was literally written in order to be read. And scholars trace this back. It's not fairy tales that are told through generation. I forgot, oral tradition. But his retelling of Cupid and Psyche, which scholars say is the first literary fairy tale, is absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautiful, and that is such a good story. Really, really wonderful stuff. Let's see. You had me at Jello shots. I also like George MacDonald. Like he did some adult fantasy, like Lilith and Fantasies. It's spelled with a PH because it's fat. That's not why he spelled it with a PH. Which I like, but also his fairy tales are really incredible as well. Although it's weird because you sometimes get people that are like, fairy tales are the original fantasy, and some people are like, no, fairy tales are their own thing. So we got to take George MacDonald out of fantasy because he's just doing fairy tales. So it depends on where you stand on that. I was so nervous when I did that dog video. You shouldn't be nervous, but I understand. I was so nervous my first video too. There's no way around that nervousness. It's impossible. But yeah, whenever I do a video, I force myself to go slower, to go slow enough that I feel like I'm going stupidly slow in my head, and then I'm going about normal speed. Lord Dunsany is great, absolutely. Conan, yeah, I'm sorry, Tim, you're right. You're right. I can't believe I forgot Conan. I'm new to Conan. The only one I've read so far is Elephant Vanishes. I do want to read in September because it's, I don't know if it's Chimerian or Chimerian, September. I want to read another Conan story. The problem I've come into is when I read The Tower of the Elephant, I had borrowed a book from my buddy Joe. He's a buddy that found me on the channel and lives in the same town that I do. And he lent me his Conan book, and then I had to give it back, which sucked because I've been trying to get it. It's this black leather bound complete Conan book. And I was like, no, that's the book. And I went to find it, and oh my God, it's expensive. I can't afford it. But yeah, Tower of the Elephant just knocked me off my feet. Absolutely incredible story. Forget everything you think you know about Conan and read Tower of the Elephant. It's incredible. Yeah, M.R. James is fantastic. I don't know if he would count as fantasy. Is he fantasy? What did this guy ask for? What was it? What is the best classic weird fantasy? Yeah, I think M.R. James could be weird fantasy. Yeah, M.R. James is really good. Whistle and I'll Come Running, I think, is the one I remember from him. That might not be the exact title. Yeah, William Morris's poetry. Gormenghast by Mervyn Peake, absolutely early good fantasy. The only reason I didn't say that is because I haven't read it yet. I've got it on my TBR pile over here, so it's going to be happening. Picking up Morris as well at the World's End at the bookstore tomorrow. Special order has arrived. Enjoyed News from Nowhere and The Glittering Plain. Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the World's End, I haven't done yet. That's his thickest. It's the one that Lynn Carter decided to publish in the Ballantine adult fantasy collection. Really, really good stuff. I probably should do my next video on early fantasy and show off my Ballantine adult fantasies because we're getting off topic. I've enjoyed this stroll through your weird collection. I need to ride off into the sunset, but this has been quite the shindig. Keep your tales weird, compadres. A fantastic Ghost Readers in the Sky. Thank you for coming. Are Mervyn Peake's Gorman Best books considered weird fantasy? Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I mean, fantasy, and I think they're weird. Hodgson and Lovecraft, man. Call me basic, but they're the real ones for me. Yeah. Lovecraft did some incredible. In fact, Lovecraft was included in the Ballantine Adult Fantasy Collection. That's wild that you mentioned Cupid and Psyche. I'm looking at an art book and just looked at J.L. Davies' painting of Cupid and Psyche as you said that. That's perfect. Serendipitous. Is that the right word? James Dawson didn't see your comment in time. For a second, I thought it was Carlton E. Morse, the old radio show. I Love a Mystery Adventure by Morse. I liked the Conan covers. I liked the Conan covers. I was young. I still like the Conan covers, man. Yeah, that Conan book is a door stopper. Yes, it is. For the love of fine, I'll send you the first Del Rey collection. Is that ones that aren't messed with by good old DeCamp and Lynn Carter? Because I don't want to read the ones that are all messed up, but I got some stuff in return for you that I can send you. We can do a trade. I like that. I like trading. The Hole. Oh yeah. Hiroko Oyamada, The Hole. Just read that recently. Speaking of weird, that's like subtle Japanese weird domestic horror. and halfway through I was like, and then not even halfway through, like just to the beginning, I was like, I don't know what this, and then it slowly gets into your brain. It's so good. I love that book. I want to interview that writer. I would love to. I don't know how to get a hold of her. I'd have to have somebody translate it into Japanese for me. It'd be cool. Maybe I could get my ex to jump on and translate for me. Lovecraft? Who is that? Andrea's trying to get us back on task here. She's here for the weird. Did you read that one? Yes, it was good. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah. I would love to. I got some stuff to send to you too, Tim. It lulled me in kapow. That's it exactly. I think you should really. I think you'd really like Red Nails, Chris. Sword and Sorcery with a healthy dash of horror. Ooh, that sounds great. But that's the novel, right? That one's really long. I only asked because I want to do something in Chimerian September, but I don't have time to do a whole novel. I wanted to do something shorter. But I do plan on. I have a hardcover of that I absolutely do want to read. Is Fritz Leiber considered weird fiction or just fantasy, horror, sci-fi? I just realized I'm not sure what qualifies as weird over the other genres. It's all weird to me. Agreed. It's hard to put a line. Yeah, Fritz Leiber actually wrote back and forth with Lovecraft right before Lovecraft died. Was in Weird Tales. Definitely a Weird Tales writer. Lovecraft was Howard's lesser known relative. Oh, like wasn't as effective though. Dang it. I don't know if that landed for me. I'm sorry. No one outweirds Robert Eichmann in my library. They're just out of reach. I've got Eichmann's over there with gory covers. Really, really cool. A novella. I'll look at it. Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. Oh, all right. I'll look and see how long it is if I have enough time to do it in September. Seabury Quinn, Manly Maid Wellman, Mary Elizabeth Councilman, Allison V. Harding, and then the big weird three, right? And Munn, Werewolf Guy. Yes. My poor attempt at humor. Like equals love. Oh, I see. Okay. I got it. Split the difference is a novelette. It's a novella. It's a short story. It's a novelette. I might be able to have time to do a novelette. Okay, I got some weird tales to show you. It's getting wacky. How are we doing here on time? It's only an hour and 40 minutes. Good Lord. It's so much faster when I have a co-host. Plus, I don't lose my voice as quick. Okay, so funny story about these weird tales that I'm about to show you. Number one, they aren't Robert. Oh, sorry. Robert Eichmann is a short story writer. Cold Hand in Mine and Painted Devils are the two collections of short stories I have by him. Yeah, he's a very weird writer. Somebody I'll be talking about on the channel eventually. So the two weird tales I'm about to show you are facsimiles. I don't have an actual copy of Weird Tales from the original era yet at all, although that might be changing in the future. Expect a video when that changes. But these two, funny story. I went into a bookstore and I had my daughter with me. This is actually a bookstore that my daughter discovered and was like, Dad, I found the bookstore for you. And she was right. It's this weird, it's in an apartment complex. And it must be the guy that owns the apartment complex. I can't figure it out. But basically, he has this whole apartment turned into a bookstore. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, and I mean, it's just like the shelves are all really close together, and you're kind of scooting around in there. It's incredible. You know what? I'll take a video next time I'm there. You guys would love it. I'm gonna have to show it to you. But anyway, he had a stack of facsimile Weird Tales, and I picked two that I really wanted, and I'm going to show these to you now. We'll go more into them in a minute, but I just want you to see these covers. So I pulled these two out. I don't think he lives in the apartment. I mean, there's no way he lives in the apartment. Like the kitchen, there's no fridge or anything in it. He's put shelves. He like yanked everything out of the kitchen and put shelves all over the kitchen. Yeah, there's no way anybody lives in this apartment. Yes, one of the things I liked about these two that I picked is their Margaret Brundage covers. Absolutely, I learned that from Andreea at Infinite Text. Go look at her channel if you haven't already. Go subscribe right now. But he wanted $20 a piece for these, and that was a little pricey in my opinion. So I was haggling with him because I don't have any Weird Tales, and these were super cool looking. So I haggled him down, and I bought them along with another thing I'm going to show you in a minute, and went out to the car and got in the car, and my kid was being super quiet. And finally I was like, hey kid, what's going on? And she said, Dad, it was embarrassing that you bought dirty books, but it's more embarrassing that you haggled for them. Because she saw these covers and didn't know what it was that I was buying. So she thought I was buying dirty books. So I told her to open them and look inside. And she was a little let down, but also happy that I wasn't in a bookstore haggling over dirty books. Okay, these are my only two copies of Weird Tales. They are facsimiles. I paid $15 a piece for them. I don't know if that's good, but they're in beautiful condition. He had about 10 more, but I couldn't afford to plop down, $160 for all of them. So I couldn't do it. Also, one of the reasons that made me not is, and these are really cool facsimiles, but they took out all the original ads, and that kind of ruins it. But anyway, I picked this one because it said H.P. Lovecraft. And I was like, ooh, an H.P. Lovecraft. Plus, I've heard of Seabury Quinn and Jack Williamson. It also has Edward Hamilton and Harold Ward. So I picked that. Also, the Brundage cover, I just thought was really, really beautiful. My daughter thought something else, apparently. But I didn't realize it. This has two H.P. Lovecraft stories in it, because one of the stories in here is The Horror in the Museum by Hazel Held, which turns out is a Lovecraft story. So this has, where's the actual Lovecraft? The Dreams in the Witch House by H.P. Lovecraft, but it also has The Horror in the Museum by H.P. Lovecraft. So I'm glad that these have the original art that are in the Weird Tales. I am a little bit sad that they don't have the original ads. I feel like the ads are a huge part of the fun of looking at old Weird Tales. Let's see if I can find The Horror in the Museum here, because I think that's more popular a story than the Witch House one. The Horror in the Museum. Oh, Secret Fire. Tim says he loves Dreams in the Witch House. I don't know that story. Maybe I'm going the other way. And then the other one I got because I wanted Robert E. Howard, and this has The Slithering Shadow by Robert E. Howard, and a wonderful Brundage cover. Brundage sounds like bondage, and that makes sense. See, look, they do have an ad. There is an ad in there, but I think there's ads all throughout the magazine. I wonder if I'm wrong. Is there only one ad, Andreea, in each Weird Tales? Are there not ads between the stories? Because these have no ads between the stories, but it did have. Oh, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe there's just not as many ads as I thought. And yeah, the ads are in here. Oh, that makes me so much happier. Well, that's cool. So these are probably direct facsimiles. If I had like the money he wanted, I'd go grab all the other ones, just because they're just beautiful. They're really so cool. Really cool. All right, let's see what I missed. I want to live in a bookstore. Heck yeah. Let's see. I think we left off. Let's split the difference. It's a novelette. Okay, here we go. Infinite text. Allison B. Harding, The Damp Man, and that one about the holes. Let's see what Andreea. The Underbody. All right, they know what they're talking about. Red Nails, more of a couple big paragraphs strung together in successive order. Okay, we already talked about who Eichmann is. I'm not really familiar with weird fiction. I've only read The Willows and Rats in the Walls by Lovecraft. What are some good entry points into the genre? Does Dunsany count? I don't think Dunsany. I think Dunsany definitely inspired a lot of weird fiction writers. The thing with weird fiction is it comes from a time when racism was huge in the ideology. Everybody was, what do they call it? When they were doing that weird race studies in science that was all pseudoscience. Yeah. So the problem is you're going to run up against stuff that hasn't aged well. I would say Algernon Blackwood's good. August Derleth, Clark Ashton Smith. Yeah, there's a lot of really good ones. But when you just pick up a Weird Tales magazine, they'll randomly just be like a story that's like, whoa, that's really crazy. But no, I think there's a lot you could jump into. Yeah. I had Boris Karloff mags when I was a kid. They were very strange stories in there, not monsters. Interesting. I think I kind of do live in a bookstore. I think that's been my dream forever, and I just made it so. Yeah, The Underbody, Freaky Story, Horror Babble did that, and the Damp Man series. This sounds great. Did that say The Slithering Shadow? Heck yeah! Wow, those are sweet. Silly Story. Story rocks. My poor kid was so embarrassed. Reminds me of a local bookstore long closed down. 2 stories in their kitchen had cookbooks naturally. I think that's what they did in this one too. I'm going to bring my camera. And go back to that bookstore. It's great. I'm sure he'd love to be on the channel. He's a nice guy. He gets mad at me though, because I always talk him down on books that he knows are huge sellers. All the Weird Tales stuff he knows. 3 full paychecks went into my Weird Tales collection thus far. Rent can wait. Wow. Yeah, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. That's a shame. I love the horrible ads. One of my copies of Dying Earth has vintage cigarette out in the middle. Heck yeah. Love Dreams in the Witch House. Can these be sourced from eBay or something? Yeah. Yeah, and they go for about $15 on eBay. All the facsimiles I see are about $15. The great thing about facsimiles is that you can actually read them without them falling apart in your hands. Great point. Yeah. Yeah, and they just look so cool. I mean, just beautiful. Yeah, they were too rich for my blood 20 years ago. The cost has increased in lockstep with my salary. It's weird. I'm here late. Can't even hear, but wanted to say, go Chris, go books. Heck yeah, Virgil. Doing this without my co-host. I like Crimerian pronunciation, but yeah, I heard it pronounced Cimerian. I don't know either. The originals are scattered on eBay and Abe Books. Yeah. Virgil. Slithering Shadow is awesome. Good Conan story. I reviewed it with Check Your Shelf guys recently. Maybe I should do that for Chimerian September. Christmas ads are usually the back pages and first 2 pages. Yeah, these do have the ads. That makes me so happy. Yep. Yeah, I just thought, look, here's an ad for Robert E. Howard book. That's cool. Yeah, okay, good. I thought there'd be more ads. Okay. Still can't hear at work, but Damp Man is creepy stuff. I kind of consider PKD weird fiction at times. Just me, perhaps. No, I get it. It's weird that there's like a horror weird fiction, and then there's like a sci-fi weird fiction. I think there's science, and they can cross sometimes. They really can. Virgil vampiring. That's what he does for a living. That's his job. The Cosmic Puppets by PKD is at least weird fiction adjacent. Yeah, absolutely. There's an Allison V. Harding anthology. I grabbed it about a year ago. I have it on the way, Joe. I'm so pumped. The Horror Gems one, right? Could the movie Forbidden Planet be considered weird, or is it just sci-fi? I think that's more sci-fi. I did mention the ads, and now I feel bad because the ads are in them, but that's not the reason. He wanted $20 a piece, and I went to 15, just because, cash right there, it saved me shipping. Basically, it saved me shipping. All right. The third thing I got that day that I'm super excited about is my first Arkham House book, and it's a 70s. It's a 70s one, but oh my goodness, am I happy to have Dwellers in Darkness by August Derleth. First edition Arkham House book. I just take $5 off of all his prices. It seems like he wanted 30 for this. And I said, I'll give you 25. And he's like, I make him mad. Yeah, 1976 this came out, and it has a bunch of August Derleth stories in it. And I really like the August Derleth that I've read so far. So there you go. My first Arkham House. I really want Evangeline Walton's Witch House, but it's always just a little bit too expensive for me on eBay. Do you have a space online somewhere with your favorite books, kind of like Discogs? I don't. I have Goodreads, where I mark everything I've read for the channel. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a thing like that? That sounds cool. If that doesn't exist, I think you just hit on a huge new social media thing, just like for booktubers. Yeah, I like that idea. Um, Let me know if you do, so I don't go there and buy more books. I went to school in Arkham. Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. Do they have Arkham House books in the schoolhouse in Arkham? I hope they do. Weird Tales. I only have one. One now. Now Arkham House. Oh, Weird Tales. I only have one. Now Arkham House. I do have quite a few. Awesome. Jealous. That is really cool. I thought it was September, Derelith. Levi, glad to see you, and the puns are already flying. Damn, I would have probably ended up paying an extra $5. I'm bad at haggling. Yeah, I live on a teacher's salary. I gotta be careful with my money. The U.S. has the best access to this stuff. I have to hunt Arkham in dark corners of the internet and pay shipping tariffs and all that stuff. Oh yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I've been insanely lucky. Like almost everything you see and hear in all my videos is estate sales and yard sales, collections, looking at stuff on Craigslist, Marketplace. Yeah, I have a first edition copy of The Shining that I bought sight unseen, a Stephen King collection for $3 a book. Picked them all up, went home, opened the boxes, and The Shining was a first edition, like straight up, all the points. A little water damaged, but I mean, who cares? It's my earliest Stephen King first edition. Yeah, it's amazing what I find just out in the wild out here. Really, really cool. Worlds colliding. I've got a rough 1946 first Arkham edition of House on the Borderland. No, that's awesome. Please put pictures of it in Discord. That's incredible. That is really cool. Let's go in 50% each on the Discogs idea. All right. I love it. Yeah, just show off your library, specific covers and printings. Yeah, that's a great idea. New Mexico is a hothouse for used books. Always pick up a bunch I can't find elsewhere. Yeah, it is. Plus, the environment out here is perfect for books. The dry, I mean, except for sun. I mean, you have to like I have two skylights in this room that I've put like UV paper over. But yeah, all the other windows I've covered because stuff will fade here like you wouldn't believe. All the spines. Like you shop in New Mexico, you're going to see some faded spines, which makes DAWs. The cool thing is there's so many DAWs out here that you can eventually get yellower and yellower spines. Arkham House books I have owned. Who Made Stevie Cry by Michael Bishop, Prince Zaleski and Cummings, King Monk by M.P. Schill, and West India Lights by Henry S. Whitehead. Oh, those sound incredible. Yeah, we need this Discogs for Books idea that Dagon Studios is throwing around. Oh, you're right. Andrea's making a good point here. Books I have owned. Where'd they go, buddy? Dang it. Yeah. Richard is going to be shopping in New Mexico bookstores with me pretty dang soon. Exciting. I see another video of us sitting in the same room in our future, Richard. We got to figure out what we're going to talk about. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I would love you guys make videos showing me your Arkham books, your Arkham House publications, and I will throw them all up on my channel. Show us your Arkhams. That's a great idea. Andrea, let's make videos about that. There's my Arkhams. It's not going to be like the DAW videos where I'm like, I have all these DAWs. Yeah, maybe, but I'm doing it anyway. make a video. Email me once you've made your video if I don't find it myself. And yeah, let's talk Arkhams. I want to see them all of them. New Mexico, famous for El Fuego Baca, a distant relative. I don't know that person. I'm sucking. Our current mayor's last name is Baca. When I first saw your name, I was wondering if you were from the Southwest out here too, Joe. Would you believe they were all given away as gifts over the years? Seth, we need to become friends. I want some Seth gifts. Oh, man. Arkham's, exactly. Let's make a video at Area 51. I think that's in Nevada. That's a little far. Let's. Are we allowed to know where that is? I think that's in Nevada. I don't know. This is one that I showed to Andreea. But is that an early Arkham Dunwich Horror? Yeah. That may be illustrated by Lee Brown Coy too. Which one are you talking about? Maybe the one Seth was talking about? Okay. The other one, maybe this one I'm holding in my hand right here. Maybe she saw it. Let's see who this is illustrated by. The author. This is illustrated by the author. Okay. This is a book that I found at my local Friends of the Library store, where I find so much incredible stuff, you guys. Seriously. Richard's been there with me. The place is incredible. Ooh. Oh, we'd have to get a hotel. But if you want to do an awesome couple of days, Richard, we could go down south. We could do White Sands and Carlsbad Caverns, and I think both of them would blow your mind. Really, unless you've already been to them, really incredible places. If not, we'll go see some native stuff, some bandolier. There's all kinds of fun stuff out here. Anyway, sorry. This is Howard Wandre, Time Burial. So I don't know if I'm saying, you've been to Carlsbad. Yeah, Carlsbad. We all call it the eighth wonder of the world out here. Really incredible cave system. And I went there when I was a younger man. I went there not in my right mind. And it was one of the greatest trips I ever had. Just really, really amazing. Yeah, I everybody, like, if anybody comes and visits from Japan or any other countries, I will take them on that trip. It's so good. Anyway, Howard Wandre. So Donald Wandre, I believe, let's see if I remember this correctly. Yes, thank you. Donald Wandre, his brother, started Arkham House with Derleth. I'm losing my voice here, guys. I'm going to take a drink really quick. Fizzy water. So, I don't know much about this guy. I found this very recently. All the art in here is by Howard himself. He does his own art. And I'm guessing a lot of these must have been in Weird Tales. My kid says it tastes like drinking the old static that we used to get on TV. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these, and I don't know if he became a writer because his brother, is Donald a writer? Does Donald Wandre have stuff in Weird Tales? Come on, where's the art? Here we go. But man, like this guy was good at a lot of stuff. Really, truly. So I'm really looking forward to cracking into some of these just to see what they're about. Did I just see Sephiroth? Did you just get off a plane? Are you home? I think you were leaving Greece last time I talked to you. I hope the flight went well. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Jeff has a killer Arkham. It's not Arkham. His worst things waiting is Carcosa Press, and that's actually the first video that I saw that of Jeff. I can't find. I have a soft. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I have a softback or a paperback copy. That's that exact text, but it's paperback. I would love to have the original Carcosa Press of Worst Things Waiting by Manly Wade Wellman. But yeah, that is an incredible book. Alfego Baca was a sheriff famous for fighting off some nasty Texas blowhards and then arresting them. I believe he became a senator. Disney had the 9 Lives of Alfego Baca as a movie and series. How have I never heard of this person? How does the estate sales work? Is there a webpage for local sales? Yes. So I find all the estate sale information on Craigslist. So Craigslist will have an area for sale, and then under that they'll have a garage sale link, and that's where everybody lists their sales coming up. Sephiroth survived. Glad. Wicked good artwork, right? Seriously. Lee Brown Coy did the cover. I had to unearth. I've lost the thread of what book we're talking about here. Did the cover. I had to unearth the book. Seemed really important. Not in the greatest shape. It is a withdrawn library book. Brittleby. It's not Arkham. It's Carcosa. Yeah. Book in the house now. Oh, back in the house now. Can't sleep yet. Yeah, I guess you're jet lagged. Your time's all screwed up. Settled debate. Is it pronounced Sephiroth or Sephiros? I just said it the same way 2 times. Sephiros or Sephiros. I just say Sephiros. My bad. Yep, that's the one. I say Sephiros. Yeah, there you go. Pardon me, where do I know you from again? Your avatar is familiar. Excuse me, I'm old. You know Joe from his amazing Show Us Your Dawes video. I earlier said I have one Arkham House, the Dunwich Horror. Yes. And I'm wondering, like that sounds like an amazing, is it like a first edition of that? Oh, the book you guys are talking about. Got it. Thank you. That's the thread I missed. Okay. Is it a really old one? Yeah, that's really cool. I would love to see that. That Wellman paperback costs $500 on Amazon. No way. Really? God, I felt bad at the bookstore in Colorado Springs paying $30 for it. I paid $30 for mine. That's wow. Chris, I have to go, so I can't be your weird administrative assistant anymore, but there's an Arkham tag coming. Good night, everyone. Good night, Andreea. Sleep well. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm about to show a couple of older stuff, but you can check back and watch later. And some of the stuff here, actually, most of what I'm going to show is not Weird Tales. It's kind of Weird Tales adjacent, and then I'll be done too. Enrique Khan, thanks for joining us. Speaking of Show Us Your Dawes, the playlist was updated just the other day, just in case anyone wanted to catch up. I need to catch up. I still haven't even shared Jules Burt's video on the channel, and I need to. I shared Goatman's first because I figured Jules Burt's doing all right, but I do need to share that one as well. Maybe other booktubers or Sea of Tranquility. I've been an SOT for at least what's Sea of Tranquility? That sounds cool. Oh, Sea of Tranquility. Well, I've heard of Sea of Tranquility. What is that? On the back page, it says it's a fourth printing of 5,000 copies with drawn library book. Wow. It sounds so cool. I want to see it. That's great. Don't let the Shoggoths bite. How do we feel about Weird Tales 100 Years hardback as an entry point, going for about $20 on Amazon right now? Andreea brought that up earlier, Virgil, and as one of the good collections out there. So I think that'd be a good one. Finishing touches review in the future, or no? I think she's going to. I don't know what you're asking specifically. Sorry. I've seen the yellow wallpaper in Weird Tales, well, in anthologies that are weird fiction. I think I'd consider that weird fiction. It's a place on the moon. I don't know what that's referring to, but that's my brother. It's Jason, everybody. Everybody say hi to Jason. Remember Jason? Some of you might not remember Jason. I started my channel with my brother, Jason. And then he got a cool job and couldn't be on the channel anymore. So now it's just me. If he would have stayed with us, he might be my co-host right now. But he busy. It's a place on the moon. What is Carcosa? I don't know what you're referring to, Jason. Looks cool to me based on the cover. Oh boy, I've lost all the threads. Sea of Tranquility by Station 11 author. Good book. Yeah, I don't. Oh, Sea of Tranquility is a prog rock site. Yes, I have connections to them with my old band. Yes. Okay. That's why I know it. Thank you. Seems like a nice place for an interested person to start. Andreea is gone, but wow, what a great video this week about the first sci-fi course taught by Sam Moskowitz in 1953. Wasn't it good? I loved it. Yeah, and at the end, she talked about something that I talked about that was in one of those little old paperbacks I have. No, it was in the Harry Bates. What was that guy's name? The guy that wrote. Anyway, he didn't show up for the first course and put Sam Moskowitz in quite a bit of trouble. Hello, Jason. I remember. Yes, Sea of Tranquility is a great show. Yeah, I think I've been played on Sea of Tranquility. I'm not going to say more than that. I have an anthology called Weird Legacies. Ooh, that's cool. Jason! Oh, the Sea of Tranquility is a place on the moon. Yes, it is. That makes perfect sense now. Hey, Virgil. Jason, what's up? Howdy, Jason. Everybody saying hi. Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm here for a short while. Virgil must be on vampire break. All right. We're on to the last stuff. Those are going to fall. Oh, I love this one. Here's the Strand magazine. And I bought this specifically for a video because I did a video from one of those little books I was showing off. I wonder if I can pull this out. I think I can. Let's see. Not that one. That one. Horror times 10. And there was a story in here that was called The Gorgon's Head by Dorothy Baker. And it was one of my favorite stories in this anthology. And I think one of the things that I loved about it is that, of course, the Gorgon's Head was such an important item in old myth writing. And there were so many people like Ovid and all these other writers that dealt with the images surrounding the head of the Gorgon and the fact that it was like the nuclear weapon of the mythic age. Really fertile image, the Gorgon's head. And I felt like this weird tale, which is the only weird tale that this writer ever wrote, really put an interesting end to the story. So you could read like Ovid and his a couple of parts. He talks about the Gorgon head really beautifully, and the image will go all the way into the 20th century, 21st century. I always confuse centuries and oh god. Anyway, and see a kind of final story of the Gorgon's head. What happened to the Gorgon's head? And I liked it so much that I had to look it up. And what I found was this was the only weird tale that she ever wrote, and that her name was not Dorothy Baker. It was Gertrude Bacon, which was really hard to find. But it's really silly because if you look here at the table of contents, it says The Gorgon's Head by Dorothy Baker. So I looked that up and couldn't find much. But then if you look here, it says The Gorgon's Head by Gertrude Bacon. And Gertrude Bacon is her actual name. So I really was excited to make a video about this, and I decided to look and see if I couldn't find the first printing of this story, which was in a magazine called The Strand magazine, which every once in a while did scary stories. It didn't do a lot, but it did scary stories. And this is a copy of half a year of Strand magazines, and in this is the first printing of Gertrude Bacon's The Gorgon's Head, and I've done a whole video on this. It was a really wonderful story. Gertrude Bacon was an aviator writer. She had like all these firsts in the UK, all these different, I can't remember any of them off the top of my head, but she was writing all kinds of stuff about aviation, and really, really interesting person all the way around. So I'm very happy to have the first edition of her story, The Gorgon's Head, in this magazine called The Strand. Really cool pictures in here as well. And if you want more about that, you can see the video I did on it. See if Jason replied. He did. That was so nice. I might have to mute my discourse. Vampire break. Oh, yeah. Jason says, hey, everyone. Oh, my gosh. All right. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to have to figure out how to snooze this really quick. Forgive me. Do not disturb for 8 hours. There we go. Jake got bored of my stream and went to Discord and started talking. That is a tome, yes. Jason, how long before your dramatic return? Yeah. His job has to stop keeping him so dang busy. You did a fine job with your first stream. It was great. My first stream a long time ago. Yeah. You got me to get horror times 10 and the other one with the candle in the hand. Yeah, that's a good one too. I like that one with the candle in the hand. Hauntings and Horrors, 10 Grisly Tales. I just love these old weird anthologies. Thank you, Nightshade. It felt like a fever dream. Oh, I read that wrong. At Literally Books. I say Virgil's the name of his channel so long or so often that I think of it half the time as literally liminal. Yes, Virgil just recently did his first live stream, and it was incredible. It really was. You did a great job. If you're not subscribed to Literally Books, go check it out. It's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I put the rubbish out, so I'm logging now. 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, sharing the video you did. Yeah, it was an awesome video, man. That was so fun. Goatman, what's your channel called? Beaches of Beaches. I put a post of it on the channel. Did a wonderful DAW video that is really fun. We all ramble, Virgil. I'm rambling right now. That's how you do live. I liked the Rocket Robin Hood TV show episode, Young Mr. Ulysses, with the spooky Gorgon. I haven't seen this. They had to help younger Ulysses get the golden fleece, protected by giant Cyclops, Hydra, and Medusa. That's so cool. We have another 8 hours to go. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I still have books to show. Like this interesting book. We're getting a little bit before the weird tales now, weird fiction, but I think these are all precursors to weird fiction. This is Tales of Men and Ghosts by Edith Wharton. And I think this is a first edition. It's a Grosset and Dunlap from 1910. Is that true? No, this is a later printing. This is absolutely a later printing. It's from, I'm not so good with my Roman numerals. I think it's from 1918, this printing is. Roman numeral people. It'll never tell you. Anyway, this is a book of scary stories by Edith Wharton. I have not read them yet, but I am excited to do so. It starts with The Bolted Door, which is the one that I'm going to start with because it sounds really, really good. Next, I have Famous Ghost Stories. This is a modern library. No, this is the Modern Library. This is a modern library book of weird fiction. Really, I think it's weird fiction. And this is where I read The Willows for the channel. Let's see, page 97. And there's art for The Willows that I will show again. Starts with like a woodblock print there of the Danube that they're going down. Man, The Willows was a good story. So scary. I really loved it. But here is them seeing the strange beings wandering around. Yeah. Ooh, I hope I brought that over. I might have to get up in a second. Somebody just asked a question that will make me get up. Next, I have Some Chinese Ghosts by Lafcadio Hearn. Oh, I should have brought over my old copy. I have an old copy of Kaidon as well, but that's on a different shelf there. Some Chinese Ghosts by Lafcadio Hearn. I've read these and loved them. Lafcadio Hearn, of course, wrote Kaidon, which is Japanese spooky stories. But he also did a bunch of Chinese stories. The copyright here is 1887. Beautiful book, thick paper. Is Will of Genre Zach still on here? Probably not. He's probably in bed by now, but he could tell us what that said. I'm not good with kanji. The Story of the Great Bell, The Story of Ming Yi, The Legend of Chi Nu, The Return of Yen Qin King. I'm sorry if I'm saying these all wrong. The Tradition of the Tea Plant. That was a crazy story. The Tale of the Porcelain God are all in this Lafcadio Hearn text book from 1922. Very cool. I should probably check some comments. I shared Goatman's video too. Worth watching, absolutely. I sent you a picture of that anthology, Chris, on Discord. Thank you, Sephiros. I appreciate it. Do you know of any weird fiction that deals with Antarctica or nautical weird fiction? I do know nautical weird fiction. And of course, you have just asked the question that would most make Andreea happy. But she's gone to bed. If you're not already subscribed to her channel, go subscribe to her channel. Nautical weird fiction is her jam. That is her specific favorite. She really, really loves it. I'm going to pull a book in just a second to show you an answer to your question. But yes, there's a lot of nautical weird fiction. There really is. Spooky willows with the strange sound from another world. Brr, yeah, like a gong being rung again and again softly. Such a good story. Still need to read The Willows. I have it in David Hartwell's 1,000-page anthology, The Dark Descent. Yeah, The Dark Descent was like the anthology for horror in the 90s. Antarctica, Who Goes There? Yeah, so Who Goes There is the short story that the novelette that the movie The Thing was based on. And it's a great, and I think definitely a weird fiction tale. Cool Chinese ghost stories. You might try Boats of Glen Carrig by Hodgson or Arthur Gordon Pym by Poe. Great, both. Yeah, good. And of course, H.P. Lovecraft did a ton of, was it Arctic or was he in the North Pole? I can't remember. Tons of incredible writers are in that huge book, Dark Descent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, The Mountains of Madness by Lovecraft is an Antarctic story, pretty well-known one. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. Polar Horrors, Strange Tales from the World's End, edited by John Miller. Antarctica, The Phantom Ship by Frederick Merritt, Nautical, 1839. Those, awesome, Seth. You've been throwing out great information this whole stream. Thank you so much. Mountains of Madness is so good. I'm going to go over a couple more books, and then I'm going to go grab this last one to show my nautical weird tales story. This is a weird one. Short stories, Thou Art the Man and Others by Edgar Allan Poe. And it's just so rare to find anything by Poe that isn't modern, because he's so collectible. I think this is probably 20s if I had to guess when this book was published. I'm starting to lose light here. Everybody's Books series. Got a cool piece of art there. 1908 is the copyright. So this was probably, yeah, I'm guessing printed in the 20s. But cool old Poe, which is hard to find. There goes my camera. I screwed it all up again. It's my fault. I think this is Poe's literary criticism. Yeah. Come on, camera. Yeah, selections from Poe's literary criticism. Edited with an introduction by John Brooks Moore. Copyright 1926. So yeah, this could be printed all the way up to the 40s. Who knows? But it's a part about Poe that not everybody knows. We all know him as a scary stories writer, but not so much as a literary critic, which he was, and a rabid one at that. So he got into fights with people. The finger trick. All right, I'm going to get up really quick. There's going to be dead air. There's nothing I can do about it. Give me just a second. All right. Did y'all pretend that you were listening to Virgil? Yeah. All right. Who was it that got me up? Chad Von Swan. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The Captain of the Pole Star and Other Stories by Arthur Conan Doyle. the main story in here, The Captain of the Pole Star, is a story of, I think, North Pole horror. It's a ghost story, and it's on the ice, and they're between two ice sheets that are closing in around them. It's incredible. Some of the best, I guess, nautical horror, but also scary ice horror that I've ever read. Absolutely incredible. This is an early copy of that book. It's signed September 26, 1901 on the front there. Somebody wrote circa 1900 on the cover here. Yeah, so probably because somebody signed it in 1901. So yeah, that is a great book. All right, I have showed a ton of stuff. I think I did it. Let's look at these last comments. Where did we leave off? Dark Descent came out in October 1987. So close to the 90s. All right, very close to the 90s. Let me get a drink here. Also, The Terror. That's true. Adjacent to Mountains of Madness, the novelization for In the Mouth of Madness is getting released next month. Oh, interesting. Yes, I did get up. Poe's literary criticism is very interesting. You mentioned him getting into fights. He wasn't very nice to Longfellow, who didn't even provoke him. No, it's true. Like he was kind of a mean critic. He really was. There's a guy that fought with him his whole life. Finally, now I can have that shot of absinthe. Nice. I had absinthe before. It tastes just like black licorice, and I like black licorice, so I enjoy it. Drink up, Constance. Conan Doyle, Professor Challenger stories are good. I haven't read them. I'll have to check them out. Author Conan Doyle is seriously underrated. Absolutely. Yeah. He's not just Sherlock Holmes. Greetings. Oh, we're just about to stop. Goblin, it's good to see you. I just got home from a book sale. First edition, 1908, Howard Pyle, The Ruby of Kishmar, a Tanith Lee I didn't have, and bunches of other stuff. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing pictures on the Discord. That is awesome. Well done. I have that pre-order, Levi. What is the girl's channel name who you said is into nautical fiction? It is Infinite Text. And if I actually, before I came into the live, I linked her in the description of this video. So I'm about to stop here. When I do, when the video ends, you'll be able to read the description, or you might be able to see the description right now. You can click right there on Infinite Text and go find Andrea's channel, or yeah, that is Andrea's channel. You'll love her. She's incredible stuff. She does Weird Wednesdays. She works at an antiquarian library. She's awesome. You'll love her channel. Anybody else that's not looked at Infinite Text, you should. It's a great channel. That may be why so many literary people at the time tried to slander Poe after his death. Seriously. Yeah, he pissed off so many people. Yeah, really, truly. All right. Any last questions? Anybody? Just so you know, Saturday, it is EBS, which I still don't know what the hell EBS means. Electric Eclectic Book Secret, Book Society Secret. I'm going to be on EBS. It's going to be super exciting. We're talking about a really weird book that I think I might have liked a little bit more than everybody else, but yeah, it is a crazy satire of post-apocalyptic Texas. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, I'm with EBS, which is Tim and Nick, Tim from the Secret Fire Books, Nick from the Book Graveyard, Jake from Pulp Mortem. Who am I forgetting, Tim? So many other people. We're all going to be watching or talking about that book. It's going to be a ton of fun. Really, it's a weird book. I think half the people hate it. It's going to be a very fun conversation. Saturday, the 20th. It's on Jake's channel, Pulp Mortem. So if you just type in at Pulp Mortem, you'll find his channel. Go to live, and you'll see that it's coming up, and you'll see what time it's going to be in your time zone. It's going to be so fun. So I've got that coming up. I just put up a video today of Elizabeth Ingstrom's vampire book, Black Ambrosia, which was scary in a subtle, terrible vampire way. So good. You'll really enjoy that. I am reading currently, now that I've finished The Spectre is Haunting Texas by Fritz Leiber, which I'm going to talk about with Ebes on Saturday. I am now reading the third book in the Elric saga, and I have completely forgotten the name of it now, but I'm reading the first part and I am loving it. It has nothing to do with Elric. There's this old guy that has this queen that he loves, and she asks him to go to this castle, and no army will go with him to the castle. So he's just walking by himself, and he's got like this anime big sword. And there's only one person that lives in the castle, and it's this scary sorceress. And he's walking into the castle, and the castle is like right on the edge of the Sea of Chaos. And the way the Sea of Chaos is described is absolutely incredible. I really like Michael Moorcock. I'm really enjoying all the Michael Moorcock that I've read so far. So I'm doing that. And then, of course, I'm going to be reading Picnic at Hanging Rock with Deb from Omniverse Reader. I'm so excited for that. All right, let's see if anybody has any questions. Yeah, he made many enemies. Thing is, he seemed to enjoy the fighting. I agree. Thank you, Stringer Than Fiction, for showing up. And Andreea is truly impressive. Great mind. Agreed. Ridley Walker is a great weird book. Have you read it? No, I'm not familiar with it. I'll have to look into it. When are you reading Coram? I'm reading Elric right now. Is Coram Moorcock or Howard? I think Coram is Moorcock. I'm reading Elric right now. But I will, Tim. Well, everything you've told me to read so far has been good. So you're batting 100 for me right now, man. Thanks for the fun, Chris, and chat room. Nice folks. Yeah, thanks for coming, Dagon Studios. Not impatient or anything. This was fun. Thanks for doing this. Thank you for coming. I don't think I've seen you in the stream before. I hope to see you in streams in the future. Always enjoy these shows. Thanks for coming, Nightshade Holloway. Seriously. Seth, so much good information you put in the chat tonight. Thank you. Dancers at the End of Time by Moorcock is wonderful, as is Gloriana. Anyway, good night, everyone. Yeah, I have Gloriana. I want to check that one out. And I have Dancers at the End of Time, too. Both sound good. Jason says good night. Jason, I sent you an email of a video that your niece wants you to watch. It's about Magic the Gathering, and by a very famous YouTuber that she watches, and it was really good. It was great. I'll call you right when I end the stream here. BookTube lives are great, especially when Chris is involved and Virgil. Thank you, Constance. Thanks for always being here chatting with us. I subbed to Andrea's channel. Good. Yeah, she's wonderful. Great stream, always fun. The prose is all in a far removed future version of Old English. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, a great stream. Thanks, Chris. Cool. We're going to end it on cool. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And I'll see you Saturday with Ebes. The Electric Eclectic Book Society. Secret Society.